All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Drew. We are How Was Your Day podcast. We thank you for tuning in today. And today we're bringing you something special, another perspective of how to deal with things that we all deal with, right? So it's the commonality. Everybody has stressors in your life, but we want to try to shed some light on how to overcome that and ways to move forward. Before I go into all of that, I'd like to introduce the man on my right or on my left today. Always on my left, GQ Nesto. How you doing today?
Doing well, just excited to be here. Obviously, something different and amazing guests, amazing knowledge. I think all around, I'm excited about that. So,
All right. And I'm excited too. And I'm excited because we have a special guest today. We have our very own life coach. She's like super famous. Like, I don't know. But no, we have someone that we sought out, and she's here to share her information, and I'll allow her to introduce herself. Will you please introduce yourself, please?
Of course, I would love to. Hello, everyone. My name is Alina, and I am a life coach.
How did you get started? Where did this come from? How did you know this was your calling?
it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Let's hear the backstory.
Get ready for the story, right?
All right.
I never knew that I'm going to be in this. I never imagined my life to take me and get me over here to be a life coach. But certain circumstances, life situations led me to something that I was really, really passionate about. And here I am.
Did you notice, like in high school or any like formal type of educational setting, that like people always like sought you out for advice?
There's a joke among my friends, excuse me,
It's fine.
that would say, "Hey, talk to Alina. She'll help you with life. Are you struggling? Call Alina. She'll take care of this."
That's
And
dope.
it's always been a thing. Like, Alina, you should look into psychology. What are you doing? Go into psychology, take a degree, or become a therapist. I'm thinking, no. I went through a lot of things. This is the least person you want to hear from
Right.
to guide you and teach you in life. But I've been always passionate about helping people. I'm very compassionate to everyone. I see a huge light and positivity in each person, and if I see they're struggling, I want to be there to bring them, brighten up their spirits, or kind of help them, guide them to get out of that little yuck
Okay.
and to get going.
You call it the yuck.
The yuck.
That's what it is.
The manure.
So, was it a certification process, or how does it work? Like, how does one become a life coach?
Good question.
Or what was your route? What route did you take?
My route, honestly, I think it takes me back into. I actually didn't even go to school for psychology, or I didn't become a therapist. I went to school. I came here to America actually as an international student.
Where are you from?
I'm from Russia.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. Oh, dope.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was born in Kazakhstan, which is strange. Many people don't know or associate Kazakhstan with the movie Borat. But, I moved to the United States as an international student, and I went to school. A part of my journey was my parents wanted something great and bright for me as their kid. And I was open to explore a new country and learn a new language, adapt to different setting. And I went to school. For a long time, I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I figured business it is. It's easy.
Right.
You can always apply it to any other fields.
Right.
So I went through the school. It wasn't business, like an MBA program. It was just an undergrad. And after I worked in the field of business management, I helped a startup company to upbring their purposes and And there is a point in my life that somehow eventually I navigated myself into medical industry, medical field. So I worked in medical for over a decade, working with lots of patients. I've been a part of the emergency hospitals. I've been a part of the internal medicine, like a primary care doctor that you see. I never did any medical things, so it was mainly patient coordination, business administrative tasks. And I think that's what a lot of my journey came through, because I had on a daily basis interactions with patients that were going through their healing journey, whatever they were struggling with, coming see a doctor.
So we were having a conversation about that, and it was kind of juicy. I definitely, I was like, I had to go straight for it. Like, I was like, I can't wait. I was like,
fill me in. I'm curious.
I was like, let's get to the nitty gritty, like you said, right? And I was telling her, I was like, okay, so obviously there's mental health doctor, right? Therapist, right? So, and then there's a life coach, right? Okay. So there's a huge difference. Obviously, the doctor's gonna help you with, you know, whatever crazy thing you got going on in your head. He's gonna help you that. But then there's the life coach that's gonna get you where you have to be, right? So I told her, I was like, okay. From that perspective, it's kind of because people get defensive. Like, they're like, I don't want to go to no therapist. You know, that's not something that I want to do. So now, the life coach part, the whole thing, it was just, it's a kind of a conflict in that aspect, right? But what I was trying to tell her is, what's your definition of happiness? And then I was like, when she told me her response, which I'm gonna let her take the floor on this one, I was kind of sold on that.
So.
Okay. So the happiness, I mean, obviously working in the medical industry, we had people that were trying to feel better, right? And usually what do? You use prescribed medicine to almost patch it up. You see a therapist and hoping that you'll feel better, right? And still it's not the same. And I went through a huge crisis in my life, which was a divorce, as personal as it gets. Right. I went through divorce. Oh, something went off. I can't hear myself.
Yeah, we're good. Right? I think so. Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
And it was a moment in my time where first I didn't believe in, I didn't know even which way to go, which direction to take, who to find, psychotherapist or a psychiatrist. I didn't believe in them either, because I felt like if reaching out to them I'll be showing my weakness. And from my cultural background, being a Russian, you don't show your weak side. You always show the strength, and you handle it. You work hard and stop whining, stop crying, get a grip in your life and move on and show the beautiful side of yourself.
Right.
And here I am struggling, and I don't even know where to go. So try a psychologist.
All of this is happening here in the States?
All happening in the States when I'm in this post-divorce situation. And I just realized that I couldn't really navigate. I needed someone that could just listen to me, or help me slightly navigate me, hear me out. I was so puzzled. I didn't know, am I doing the right thing? Am I doing the wrong thing? Do I need to take medication to be happy? I fell into this great depression, and I've realized at that time I couldn't find a person that would see me through where I'm at right now and really help me, just steer me to the right path. And the way life coach sounds a little bit too much, right?
No, that's what you are.
That's what I am.
That's what you are.
I've learned to, before I would think, as a life coach, what could I tell you? I went through a lot of different things, a lot of maybe unhealthy patterns, but that's the way how I've learned, and that's the way what helped me learn how to be better, how to take an action and take an advantage of my circumstances and make it in a better way and help other people.
That's dope.
It's kind of like a no return, right? Like you just got to go with it, regardless of how you feel, how the circumstances are, because I think that's the hardest part to admit, is the fact that sometimes we need that little push, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily tell me what to do, but push me to get through this whole, what you were saying, stink, or this whole situation that is holding you back from moving forward. And I mean that's pretty awesome, especially like the whole fact that she was like, culturally, because that's usually what it all is all about nowadays, is that culturally, we're not here to just have a hall pass or say, oh, okay, like, do you feel good? Like, no, shut up and keep going, right? And I think that's powerful just as it is, especially the way the world that we're living into. And sometimes it's hard to, emphasis more on positivity versus the negative things that are surrounding us. So
I think it's amazing in what you do, right? So I was doing a little background and a little research about you, right? And I was on your website, and I can honestly say, like, I was amazed by some of your quotes on there, right? So I don't like to read during our shows, our episodes, but I want to read something that you put on your website, and it would be amazing if you please elaborate and just tell us what it means. All right. All right. So a quote that I saw that you wrote on your website is, when you forget who you think you are supposed to be, you can remember who you truly are. That, like, you don't understand. That really touched me. And I think I know where you were going with that, but I'll let you take the podium and please explain.
That's my home base too. That's my home base because whether it's a culture or the conditions that I grew up, I've always thought, you have to be this, you have to be that. There's some sort of a standard form. You follow the path that everyone follows, right? By this age, you're supposed to be this person. How come you don't have that, right? And it's been always a pressuring point for me. Here I am, coming from a very great family, and I'm going to America, lots of expectations. Going into business, yes, this is the right thing. That's
Right.
what the standards are putting us, and you kind of get wound up at living outside of yourself, serving or pleasing other people, or giving your full energy for something that doesn't even benefit you. You start worrying about what people say, what they think you should do, and everyone has tons and tons of different opinions, right? And with that, what happens? You come to an empty source. You're like, wait, who am I? Who am I? And why am I not living? Why am I not happy? I'm doing what people are telling me to do, or I think I'm supposed to be that. And we look out for the outskirt, but not looking inwardly. And for me, there's just a point where I had to completely just give in and say, you know what? I don't give a crap how you think. Right now I'm going to do me. What do I want to do? What makes me happy? Because once you're happy and once you fully separate yourself from all of the expectations that you put on yourself,
Right.
you blossom and you realize, oh,
It's that realization.
the realization of feeling where you're at.
Dope. GQ Nesto.
okay, so I told her I was gonna throw a mystery question, right? Because I was like, you know what? Let me throw it out there, right?
Okay.
And
Okay. Throw it out there.
I was
I'm
trying
ready.
to tell her, I was like, I love spontaneous, and I think that just throwing it out there just makes it a lot more real, right? And my question to you is, obviously, you've gone through all these situations that land you in a position where at some point you're taking leadership in guiding someone to get to their goal, right? So if there's anything of, obviously the amazing story that we've heard about your culture and everything, how you've navigated through life is, one, I threw a combo. One, do you have a life coach? And then two, okay, what is something that you've heard so far from the people that you've coached that you're like, that they kind of had their aha moment where they're like, oh, you know what, she was right, this is what we need, or this is what I need to just kind of put myself in that position where I want to get to my goal.
Lots of curveballs here.
Right?
Right.
Look how excited he is.
Yeah, I know,
He's
right?
like, I
Did
can't
you
wait.
write? I'm like, did you write all that down? Like,
I was ready. I was
Yo,
Like,
ready.
number one,
All
number
right.
two. Here we go. So number one, you were asking me if I myself have a mentor, right?
Right.
And I do. I think it's so important because I don't know anything to this day. I can't claim that I know everything, you know.
Right.
And it's important to have someone. Always important, the way I believe, it's always important to surround yourself that will elevate you. It's important to have people that are higher in understanding and that they can lift you up and lead you into becoming even a better person. Mentor is important for me because there's so much I can learn, read myself, and interact with people, but also having that mentor that will guide me. I'm a human being too. I have
Right.
my sad days. I'll have my hardships, hard times, and just having that accountability partner that will always say, "You've got this. Keep going. You know it." So, to answer your question short, I have one, and I'm so grateful for her.
Dope. Dope.
So let's get to the second one. So I'm ready for that one.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, so the second question, the aha moments where people, the common thing that people react to is, I think we live in such a busy lifetime right now with all of the distractions of Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, and TV, and everyone has their own opinions and portrayals of how your life needs to be, and you get so distracted by doing different things. And what I truly believe is what helped me get through many points or rediscover myself, explore myself, is to sit down in quiet and actually see what I want. Like, who am I? Kind of come into that position of really digging into what makes me happy, what brings me happiness and joy on a daily life.
So that means like you've identified your true passion, your skills, right? So what would you say to someone who is, I would say, a process in identifying that, you know, because we're all trying to, well, I can only speak for myself. I feel that just to exist is not enough. I feel that we all have a reason and we all have a purpose. And whether it's to touch millions or it's to touch one, I have a purpose. So what do you suggest for people to do to identify that? Like, I know what my parents want me to do. I know what my friends and my social circle want me to do. But what do I want to do? What am I good at? So what would you suggest?
I have a thing that I make everyone do is to write down 50 things that simply bring you joy. You would think it's just a random exercise, but in that list of 50 things, you write down everything that makes you happy. Whether it's waking up and having a sip of coffee on your balcony or going for a walk with your dog, but focusing on exactly, like, aside from everyone, you know, write down exactly 50 things. It just does a transformation, does magic, because you unify with yourself and say, what do I like? Not
50 things, that's kind of
50
hard.
things,
That's hard. I'm like, I could only think of like 5 or 10. You know what I mean? Like 50.
Give me your 3 right now.
You gotta go deep in. So I would say, ooh, you now you threw the curveball.
She put you on the spot.
Okay, so
bam, right back at you.
One is I want to be, and you know, no BS aside, I want to be spiritually fulfilled. That's one. The second one is I want a lot of money. Okay. And then the third one is I want to be able to kind of empathize my journey with other people that have gone through the struggle and saw that there's going to be a better day tomorrow, because like today it might be horrible, but tomorrow might be better, and then Wednesday it might suck again. Thursday, so I think it's not the battle that you got to worry about, is the whole end result of when you die. And it's kind of dark, right? But when you die, like, are you going to be remembered for something? Or are you just going to live just to please other people or to create an image that at some point it's like, come on, dude, like, don't BS. You know what I mean? Like, I just want to stay real to myself, if that makes any sense.
And to stay real to yourself, you also got to do things for yourself.
Okay.
And I feel like with that 50 things, I can't tell you enough how many times I get stuck on the 20th or 5th point. Because you get so wound up with, I need to achieve this is how you're supposed to do, and you're always on a go, 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 that you completely forget all of the little simple joys. And I get to the 20th point, like sweating. Oh, I should know what brings me joy, right? Right? And it's just this transformational point of focusing inward on yourself and showing care and love. Because with those activities, as simple as this, writing out 50 things of joy, it will really inspire to say, hey, I actually haven't played tennis in a while. Why don't I do that for myself, right? Or I want to learn a new language that I haven't done in a while. So this will bring me joy because I loved learning Chinese alphabet, right? It was complicated. So those little things is that aha moment of, oh, I had it all in me. I just forgot to pay attention to me and turn inwardly of what I want to do and how I want to make a difference.
Do you feel it's important for someone to control their own narrative?
Of course.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, hop in on that. Enlighten us, please.
Whatever you think is what you create. That's I just always stick to that idea. You have the whole power to create your future. You have the power also to rewrite your future. And whatever you think, thoughts have such a powerful force in your life. Whatever you project in your head will kind of bounce off. And that's exactly what you attract too.
Right.
So changing that narrative, for example, my divorce, going back into my personal life experience, for a second, I took a path of, this is horrible. I blame everyone for making this happen in my life. And I took a portion of like just being pitiful to myself and hushing myself down, thinking, oh, poor you, Lena. And the world is sucky and just don't trust anyone, or poor you deserve to be petted. Or you have a completely different route of where you can say, okay, this happened. What are the great learning lessons I've learned from this? It happened for a reason, so how can I use my story to empower other people around me? How can my authentic experience be of a help to any other people in the community? So.
That's true value right there. Because if you think about what the world we're living in, right? I just think that's the part where what you're saying is that this is actually the root of where we're seeing women empowerment. We see all these women's going through all these different turbulations and all that, and then seeing the bigger picture. Not necessarily like, you're not talking about like, let me go get a purse. You're talking about, let me figure out how I'm going to move forward in life and how I'm going to be able to share that experience, share that journey that's going to put you in a better position. And not only that, but it's going to keep you happy. Mm-hmm. And I think I wouldn't say it's the little things that count, right? If we can all agree to that.
And you were sailor. What was your major takeaway from your experience, even though it wasn't like so pleasant? You know what I'm saying? Because nobody wants to go through that, right? But what was your major? How did you say, you know what? Like you said, like this is what I'm dealing with, but this is how I'm gonna move forward. Is that what took you to life coaching, or is that what just gave you that empowerment to where you was like, you know what? I'm about to run this. Like I'm about to do this thing.
I think that's a partial thing that took me to life coaching, because I wanted to be there for someone who was maybe not going through divorce, but going through hiccup, or maybe they're not as bold to step up and launch their business. I just wanted to be there. At that point, I needed a person who could just assure me, you've got this, uplift my heart, or just really listen and with their questions navigate. That's how I do. The way I work with people, I just want to create this environment and the space for them to be vulnerable. It's a judgment-free zone, and to really fully like dive into, hey, this is happening, and there's no problem with that, right? And with either questions or just some tips that have worked for me in the past or currently work, guide them with that and use those tools to take it further steps. So at that time, I didn't really have a person that could really see me through or give me that nudge or say, you've got it. Wherever you're at is the right place to be at. The time is right. And kind of assure me that there's still much more that how I can transform and transition and take it to the next level.
Dope. Look, we got the life coaching stuff. So what do you like to do for fun?
Oh my gosh.
Tell us a little bit about what do you like to do?
You have to know how to have fun. I love to do anything that has to do with music, as we talked before.
Right.
Taking myself to.
Can you tell us what your genre of music is? I thought it was. I was surprised, but go ahead. I'll let you.
Surprised, yeah. I love techno. Techno is my thing. I like it. Dark beats. I like it. Like house techno, African techno. You tell me, you name it. Even in the shower, I have on the weekend.
Oh, in the shower,
I'll have my boom, boom, boom drum. That's what makes me happy. That's what really, really just pumps me up. I love hiking. I love doing all different sorts of activities. I've never been a runner, so I thought that physical activity you have to do running or pulling weights, which both I can't do. But, just exploring nature, going to the beach, walking barefoot on the sand. I'll have my moments when I'll hang out with like different friends at some sort of event. So really taking myself into nature and music scene, and at times I just love to be at home with myself.
Cool.
Yeah.
GQ.
I honestly, after like speaking to you for this this whole time, I just feel like just the energy, the balance that you bring. I could see why you're a life coach. You know what I mean? Like it's like you're non-threatening and you're very
non-threatening.
Yeah. Well, no. Well, you know what I mean? Like a lot of okay, a coach. I mean, I'm kind of.
I get it.
I'm kind of like I told her I was like I'm a soccer coach, and to me it was like go do some suicides, right? It was like go.
What's a suicide?
So basically,
break it down. So
basically, I would make them go on a hill, right? And then they would go up the hill, down the hill, up the hill, and my reward to them was you gotta throw up. If you throw up, you're doing good.
Mm-hmm.
You're kind of beating that mental fitness of going through something that you're like, okay, there's a slight possibility I'm gonna faint. So. Different, obviously, way completely different, because you're like over here soothing. You're over here like, okay, let me open up, and then, in the other hand, I'm over here like, feel the pain, or you're.
So it's an end point. It's an end point, and it's a beginning. That's the point of the suicide. So you know where you're going, and you know where you have to return.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the process of the pain, the uncomfort that you feel to the point, but you still got to return. And it builds, coaches do it like GQ Nesto. You do it for that mental toughness. And, you know, a lot of people think sports are a great way to teach children and adolescents about life in itself, right? So everyone in your team is not going to like you. You may not be able to perform physically like someone else, but you still got to make it happen. So if I give you an end result and you still come back, that means that you struggled all the way there, but you still made it back, which is an accomplishment. You know what I'm saying? Which I think is pretty
and that's
cool.
one concept. The concept that I emphasize a lot more.
He's trying to get people to throw up.
No, the emphasize that I do a little bit more is that, okay, especially, I mean, I coach soccer, so you're down 2-0, right? 2-0. Halftime goes, and everybody's defeated. Everybody's tired, right? So to me, is I think a 2-0 is obviously a sketchy scoreboard, right? But the whole concept of it is, how are you going to keep your confidence and keep your mindset to say, you know what, I can overturn this. I can go 3-2 on the next half. If they scored 2, why can I score 3 on the second half? So I think, to me, that's the most valuable lesson that I can teach anybody that is in competitiveness, or because I just feel that you have to be able to be okay with losing in order to win. And
Well, it's not really a loss. It's not a loss. It's
temporary loss.
No. But I think it's what you like we just discussed in one of our previous episodes. It's you figured out what don't work, what doesn't work. So if I make adjustments and I come back and I attack the same thing, then
there are different many routes how you can
exactly.
approach them.
So do you like? Okay, because we gotta wrap this up soon. All right. So when is your clock off time? Like, are you out chilling with your homegirls? You know what I'm saying? Y'all at, I don't know what they have out here because I haven't been in LA, even though I grew up in LA.
He's LA native, and
Right,
he's like,
so-
he doesn't know what's going on here.
Yes, but like, you know, you out chilling with your homegirls or your homeboys or whatever, and you overhear a conversation. And you hear somebody struggling. You know, it's like the Geico commercials. And you know what I'm saying? Where, hey, you're off today, okay? You're off. And you just jump in. You know what? I can assist you with that. You know what I'm saying? Do you set your boundaries when it comes to your coaching and your talent and your gift?
It's been an interesting journey to even see how this goes, because naturally I've always been there to help my friends, support. They would call me like, Alina, just talk to me. I'm like, what's happening? And I think it's just by nature, I want to help people, but I don't mind it. There's no time off or clock off for me as far as just thinking and observing, but I always create that space for people around me, whether you're my best friend or not. And I'll joke with my best friends, be like, you want Alina coaching or Alina your bestie?
Right.
It's almost like allowing that boundary. They know I'm there. They know what I do. But I can't constantly, hang out in a group of friends and say, let me tell you how to live your life.
Right. You're not going to get them calls no more.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
You're going to see all the pictures and you're going to be like, why wasn't I there? You know, like, because you always try to coach us every time you come on.
Right. I always hold that. I respect your space. I respect your space and everyone around me, whether you're my best friend, a family member, or my client. And I think it's important because people sometimes, even if you try to push yourself on them, let me tell you how to live your life, they won't hear you. They're not ready to hear. And you have to just allow, it's that feelings like, oh, I really know you're going to do it. You are going to be great, but they're not there yet to fully accept it. But I'm just there as a friend, being an encouragement, giving them positive feedback, or just being me, being their authentic me, saying, if you need help, I'm here.
All right.
The
GQ
aura.
Nesto.
The aura. That's all. That's
The aura.
yeah, the positive aura. That's really. I'm a true believer about that. Like people
Definitely.
have positive aura, and some people are like have like kind of messed up auras. So I mean, I think that's really what it all comes down to. Is like the peaceness around you, right?
The tranquility.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Dope.
awesome.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the conclusion of our show. As always, and I will always do this, we always open the floor to our guests and obviously to our hosts. We're going to start it out with our guests today.
Yeah.
All
Let's
right.
do it.
If there's anything you would like to share to the listeners and the viewers, this is your opportunity. This is your platform. Miss Lena, what would you like to share?
Thank you. I just want to say that it's never too late. Never too late to make a difference. Never too late to change your narrative, right? Going back into the topic. Positive affirmations and knowing that whatever happened in life, it can be just a little hiccup, but you have the power, you have the option to make it either sitting on the bleachers and observing this or putting yourself out in the field and being an action player. You'll take a risk, but it's going to bring you so much power and it will open up your potential skills even further. I've been in the dark moments, I've been in light moments, and you will not fully know who you are until you really get yourself going in the action mode.
Nice. GQ Nesto.
She definitely inspired me on this one, but I want to say it's all about going through, not quitting through the whole process. I think that's key, is just going through it, not worrying about how today is, but worry about, you know what, tomorrow, the possibility of tomorrow being a better day, and letting everything go through. I think if you let things unfold, sometimes things don't seem to appear the way they look, or sometimes the outcome is a lot better than you think. So I truly believe is just keep going through, put your head down, tunnel vision, and just hope for the best.
I love you, man. All right.
I appreciate that.
All right. But no, in closing, once again, we would like to thank you for tuning in today, tonight, or this evening, or good morning, right? Please hit the subscribe button. I would say this, it's easier to quit, all right, than it is to begin, right? So when we're faced with triumphs, and of course that's a win, but when you're faced with difficulties, you got to overcome that obstacle. And overcoming that obstacle may take a team to do so, but it can be done. It can be completed. But we love you, we thank you, and we see you next time. My name is Drew. We are How Was Your Day podcast. See you next time. And we out.